morning. Today we're going to move and meditate. And our focus for this month has been on change and transition. And I found a couple of World War II era quotes that I thought kind of went together. The first is from Albert Einstein, and the second is from Winston Churchill. But Einstein said, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change." That as we get greater capacity to withhold information and to understand things, right, inevitably we should change, right? And Winston Churchill said, to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. And really, that's the whole point of this ever-changing world, is that we change often. There's change that is inevitable, that just happens. And there's also change that we can create intentionally. But we're going to move for about 30 minutes or so, and then we will sit and meditate for the remainder of our time. So let's start standing, so we can just really get moving to start. I'm going to plug in. And just come up to the top of your mat. You can rock on your feet a little bit. You feel the ground. And then just find some stillness with your balance there on your feet. Just drop your chin, soften your knees, and just let yourself roll down one vertebrae at a time, really slowly. Just start to get into our spine to begin with. Let your knees be really soft. Let yourself just hang when you get to the bottom. And then stack yourself up from the bottom to the top. So first, let your pelvis come upright. And then just one vertebrae at a time. Roll yourself all the way up. And just go at your own pace here. Rolling down and rolling back up 2 or 3 more times. But really see if you can do it in a sequential way and bring some awareness to each of your vertebrae. And notice the deep belly muscles that are required to really roll in your lower back. And when you stack yourself up, really feel firmly rooted into the floor through your feet. Let your knees be soft so your legs are active. As you bring your pelvis upright and come all the way up. Maybe one more. And when you get up this last time, just kind of bring your awareness to your breath. Stack yourself up really intelligently from your feet, all the way up through the crown of your head. Let your heart feel open and your spine feel long. Kind of think about pointing your sitting bones towards your heels as you reach up through the crown of your head. And let yourself breathe wide through your rib cage. So don't think so much about pushing your belly out with your inhale, but really think about letting your lungs expand in 360 degrees. And start to bring some movement with that breath. As you inhale, you can sweep your arms up, reach high, and then exhale, let yourself fold forward over your legs. And then inhale, find your halfway lift, look forward. Exhale to fold. Point your sitting bones towards your heels to come all the way back up with your inhale, reach high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Just do a couple more, just half salutations like that. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Use the strength of your hamstrings and glutes to find that halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. One last time. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach high all the way to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. And now we'll do some kind of wrist prep and a nerve glide. So you'll really keep your wrists flexed through this movement. Bring your hands to your heart and inhale here. And then as you exhale, really flex through those wrists and push the floor away. Inhale and reach those flex wrists straight forward, arms straight forward. And then exhale, arms out to a T. And keep that flexion in your wrists. Inhale, you'll look up and bring your fingertips to your third eye. And then exhale, look forward, push the ceiling away. So like you're really pushing. Inhale, arms back out to a T. And then flip the fold of your wrists as you exhale and bring the backs of your hands together. Inhale, hands back. One more time like that. Inhale here. Exhale, push the floor away. Inhale, reach straight forward. Exhale, open. Inhale, look up, bring your fingers to your third eye. And then exhale, push the ceiling away as you look forward. Inhale, arms straight out to a T. And then as you exhale, flip your wrists, sweep your arms down, and then backs of your hands together. Hands at your heart. Root down through that right foot and just step your left foot back into a high lunge. So let your feet be wide enough from each other that your balance is pretty stable. And take a breath in here. And we'll just do that same thing again. Exhale, push the floor away. Inhale, flex wrists straight forward. Exhale, arms to a T. Inhale, look up and bring your fingers to your third eye. As you exhale, just look straight forward, push the ceiling away, straight arms. Inhale, and then flip your wrists, sweep your hands down, and then hands together. We'll turn to a goddess to your left. So ground both heels, heels in, toes out, bend through your knees, and then give yourself a hug with your right elbow underneath. And just start to find some circles through your thoracic spine. So just your rib cage spine. See if you can circle around, find a side bend, some flexion, side bend, and extension. Try to keep your knees bent down in that goddess squat. Push your knees away from each other. Switch directions of your circles. And after you feel even in both ways, just open to a warrior two. So turn your right toes to the right, and kick your left heel out. And you can open out into your warrior two. Drop your left hand, reverse your warrior, big breath in. And then exhale into side angle pose, right forearm on right thigh, left arm alongside your ear. And then, so reach forward, Barry. Then bend that left elbow, just kind of tap your fingers between your shoulder blades. Behind your head, and then reach out and swim your arm back around. Bend your elbow, bring the back of your hand to your lower back. The back of your hand, yeah. And then just swim back and forth there. Sweep your arm overhead, bend and tap. Just play with that shoulder. One more lower back tap. And then we'll cartwheel our hands to frame our front foot. Lift your back heel and bring that back knee down. So left knee down. And just bend and straighten through your right leg. You can walk your hands. If you've got blocks and you need them, you can grab blocks. A few more breaths there. And then we'll step back into a child's pose. All the way back. And then really push into your shins to come up into a table. Rock your heart forward, bend your elbows lower part way into a chaturanga. And then hips to heels and just cycle through here a few times, kind of getting into those shoulders. Let's just do 2 more. I'm just keeping my knees down the whole time here. Next time you come forward, lower all the way to your belly. Lengthen yourself out. Really push into the tops of your feet. Push down into your pubic bone. You can lift your head and chest, but float your hands up off the floor. Really engage through your back body. Then plant your hands. So like you're dragging your hands back to reach your heart forward in a cobra. Lower down. Come up through table. Downward facing dog. Just pedal out your feet. You can play with your grip of your hands on the floor. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and just take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a big step back with your right foot and find that high lunge on your right side. Really root down into that right big toe ball mound and then find some lift of your lower belly. Inhale with your hands at your heart. Exhale, push the floor away. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, open out to a T. And then inhale, look up, bring your fingers to your third eye. Exhale, push the ceiling away. Inhale, back out to a T. Change the fold of your wrists. Exhale, back of your hands together. And inhale, hands to your heart. Ground through that back heel and open yourself up into a goddess squat. Heels in, toes out. Try to stack your shoulders over your hips. Bring your left elbow underneath, give yourself a hug, and then just find those thoracic circles here. So you can root through your big toes and the pinky edge of your foot at the same time. You can switch directions. Come back to center and we'll find our warrior 2. So turn those left toes to the left, right heel out and open. Drop your right hand, reverse your warrior, just lift up. And then exhale into side angle pose, left forearm on left thigh. Reach your right arm alongside your ear and get long from your right heel out through your right fingertips. Bend that right elbow and just tap behind your neck and then reach out. Swim your arm around, internally rotate that shoulder and bring the back of your hand to your lower back. And try to keep your heart as open as you can as you swim that arm. Last tap of that hand to your lower back and then swim your hands to the floor. Lift your back heel and bring that knee to the floor. And then just move through that low lunge. Bend and straighten your knee. You can circle your hips. All right, just get friendly there with your hamstring. You can play with pointing and flexing that foot. And then we'll make our way to child's pose. Slide that left leg back, hips to heels, and reach your arms forward. Really push down into your shins and let your spine come up. Rock your heart forward, bend your elbows, and lower partway. So really pay attention to your hands on the floor as you go here. And this time, if you want to tuck your toes and hover your knees as your elbows bend, be my guest. Think about having an open heart here. So finding some external rotation in your upper arm bones, kind of keeping your elbows close in to support yourself through your shoulders. Next time we come forward, lower all the way down. Untuck your toes, float your hands up, engage that back body, then plant your hands. Feel like you're pulling your hands back to lift your heart up. Lengthen out of your lower back. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Stretch long through your outer armpits. Push your inner thighs back. And soften your front low ribs in. Onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. And pause here. And then take a big step back with your left foot. Find your high lunge. And then root down through that right big toe and your left big toe. Reach your arms high this time. And just take a breath here. We're going to go through kind of a circular movement. So we'll do this side twice. Find your goddess. So ground through that left heel. Heels in, toes out. Right elbow underneath. Give yourself a hug or wrap into eagle arms. Either way. And just sit in your goddess pose. If you've got this hug, or even your eagle arms, kind of feel like you're pulling your arms apart, even as they're squeezing toward each other. And then we'll find our warrior two to the back. So you'll turn your left toes to the left, right heel out, open up. Reverse your warrior, and then find a side angle pose. Forearm to thigh, or maybe this time, grab your inner ankle, open your heart, big breath in, and then exhale, hands to the floor. Step back into table or plank with your breath in. Rock your heart forward. Exhale, lower all the way. Float your hands up, engage that back body. Plant your hands, inhale, lift into your cobra. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward between your hands and find your high lunge. Inhale. And then we'll exhale, just turn into your goddess. Heels in, toes out. Right elbow underneath. Hug or eagle arms. And we'll open to our warrior two to the left. We'll just open out. Reverse your warrior. Exhale into your side angle pose. Take a breath in there. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale to table or plank. Rock your heart forward. Lower all the way down. Float your hands. And then inhale, cobra. Tuck your toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees and make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a big breath in and step your right foot back into that high lunge. Reach your arms high. And settle in here. And then we'll ground our right heel, turn to the right, and find your goddess pose. Left elbow underneath for hug or eagle. Warrior two to the right. So kick that left heel out, turn your right toes to the right. Open up. Inhale to reverse. Exhale into your side angle pose. Take a breath in. Plant your hands. Table or plank. Rock your heart forward. You can lower all the way or halfway this time. Inhale. Cobra, or maybe your knees are off the floor in upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot forward. Come up into your high lunge. And then ground your back heel, find your goddess, left elbow underneath, hug or eagle. Inhale, warrior two to the right. So turn those right toes to the right. Inhale, reverse. Side angle pose. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands frame that front foot. So back to table or plank. Rock your heart forward. Lower all the way or halfway. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Inhale onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Do that one more time, each side, and we can add, instead of our side angle pose, if you want to do a half moon balance, we'll add that in. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, left foot back, set up for your high lunge. And exhale, just to float your hands back by your hips. Ground through that right heel. Inhale, up. Then you'll ground your left heel, find your goddess with your right elbow underneath, eagle arms, or a hug. Then open to your left, warrior two. Settle for your exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle, or you can ground those left fingertips and balance into your half moon. Ground through everything, hands down, plank or table. Rock your heart forward to lower all the way or halfway. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Inhale up for your high lunge. Exhale into your goddess squat, right elbow underneath, eagle or hug. Inhale, warrior two to the left. Exhale to settle. Inhale and reverse. Exhale, side angle, or you can float your balance into half moon. Hands down. Inhale to your plank. Exhale, your lower. Inhale to open your heart. Exhale. Downward facing dog or child's pose. And collect your breath. And really be mindful about what's happening in your shoulders. Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. You can step or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Last side. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your high lunge. And then just exhale, just float your hands back by your hips. And then really push into that left heel to inhale yourself up. And then we'll exhale, find that goddess squat. Left elbow underneath in your hug or eagle arms. Inhale into your warrior two to the right. And then settle. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale. Side angle pose, where you can float into your balance. Take a breath in, and then exhale. Set yourself up. Find your plank or table. Inhale. Exhale to lower, halfway or all the way. Inhale. Externally rotate your upper arms as you open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your left leg. You can really come onto your right fingertips to help you step that left foot forward and through. And then come up to your high lunge. Ground your heels, left elbow underneath, your goddess. And then open up, warrior two. Inhale. And then exhale to settle. Inhale to reverse. Exhale. Side angle pose. Or float into your half moon. Take a breath in. And then exhale, hands to frame that front foot. Inhale to your plank or table. Exhale your lower. Inhale. Cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog for 2 or 3 breaths. And as you're ready, let your knees come down, knees wide, big toes together, into a child's pose. If your forehead doesn't touch the floor, you can stack your palms. And then come up, like make a tent with your hands. So come up onto your fingertips and really creep your fingers forward as you reach your hips back. And you could even kind of sway from side to side, rock your rib cage from side to side a little. Feel that length. And then just lift your head, walk your hands over to your left, and really creep those right fingertips away as you drop your right sitting bone toward your right heel. And a nice stretch through your right side body. And then walk through center, over to the other side. Just find that line from your left fingertips to your left glute. And then come back through center. Just walk your hands back. Just shift your hips to one side and swing your legs forward. And then scoot your bum to the middle of your mat. Hold on to the backs of your legs. And we'll roll down one vertebrae at a time. So really tuck your tailbone underneath you. See if you can find a lot of flexion in your lower back as you roll down. When you get down, bend both knees, feet flat on the floor. And then just lift your right foot up off the floor. And with that right knee, just draw some circles. And they don't have to be very big. Do it in a way that you really feel a lot of freedom and spaciousness in that right hip socket, and your pelvis can stay stable. You're not tipping from one side to the other. And then switch directions. And then you could play with figure eights, maybe an infinity sign that goes side to side. You could even try to switch that direction if your brain will let you. And then see if you can make figure eights forward and back. But just really fluid movement through that hip capsule. And then bring your knee up into your chest. Externally rotate your femur bone, flex through your right foot. Just find your active range of motion there. And then you can bring your right ankle on your left thigh. Bring your hands or your fingertips kind of behind your head. We'll find a little crunch so your elbows are wide. Lift that left leg up off the floor and just crunch your torso up toward that right shin. And then bring your head and chest back down. Try to keep your right leg exactly where it is and lengthen your left leg forward. So your leg comes off of your ankle, but you're trying to keep your right leg where it is without the help of your left leg. And then connect your left leg back to your right ankle and find your tiny crunch. Lower your head and chest back down. Try to keep that engagement of your right leg. Keep your leg where it is as you just lengthen your left leg forward. And just do that at your own pace a couple more times. Next time your ankle and your knee connect, you just bring your left leg to the floor. Find that figure four. And then lengthen your right leg straight up toward the ceiling. You can hold on to the back of your right thigh. Circle out your ankle a little bit. And then really push your thigh into your basket hands and use that strength to roll yourself up. And let yourself fold over that right leg. So let your left knee bend and go out to the side. And find a bend here. You don't have to sit on it, just bend your knee a lot. Bend your knee a lot. Okay, and feel like you're pulling your heel towards your bum to let yourself come forward, and then push your leg away from you, and just kind of let your spine wave here. And you can let there be a little less space under your knee each time you bend. But kind of think of that fluid rubber band of your connective tissue all the way up that back line of your right leg, all the way up through your lower back toward your shoulders. So you're bending that knee, kind of dragging your heel toward you without moving it to pull yourself forward. And then you can find a place just to stay in your forward fold with as much of a bend in that right knee as you need. Just let yourself breathe there. And then come on up. Plant your hands behind you, bend both knees. Let your feet be as wide as your mat and just find some windshield wipers of your legs from side to side. Just kind of knee toward heel on each side. And then come back to center, and we'll just lower all the way down onto our backs. Feet down, draw your shoulder blades toward each other, and just find a round of bridge. So keep your gaze straight up at the ceiling. You don't need to overthink how you lift up. Just lift your hips into your bridge and reach your knees forward to find a clearing through the front of your hips. And just notice the difference from your right side to your left. Maybe different. Lower yourself down. And then keep your right foot grounded. Just lift your left foot up off the floor with that bent knee. Just draw some circles with your left hip. A lot of freedom in your hip capsule there. So don't go so far that your pelvis is tipping. It's just really, really gentle. And just go in a way that you don't feel any clicking of your tendons or anything happening in there. You just have really fluid ease of motion. So after you've done your circles in each direction a few times, you can play with your infinity sign. But kind of looking for relaxed movement here. It's controlled by your muscular strength. Maybe switch directions if your brain can handle it. There in your infinity sign. And then switch. See if you can do figure eights forward and back. So it's fluid motion without tension. See if you can relax through it and be really efficient. Right, so those deep muscles closest to your bones are articulating this. All right, and then keep that right heel grounded. You're gonna externally rotate through that left hip. So your knee will go out to the side. You can flex through your left foot. So you're doing a floating figure four here, as much range of motion as you actively have. And then you can place that left ankle on your right knee. Bring your fingertips by your head, by your ears. Let your elbows stay wide. And you can float your right foot up off the floor just a little bit. Crunch yourself up toward that left shin. And then lower your head and chest. Keep your left leg where it is as you reach your right leg forward. And just go through those little crunches. So feeling that active external hip rotation with that left leg. Using your muscle strength to hold it there. After you feel like you've done this about the same amount of times as you did on the first side, you bring that right foot to the floor, release your hands, lengthen that left leg, basket grip behind your left thigh, and just circle your ankle. And then push your hands into your thigh into your hands, just to rock yourself up to seated. Let your right knee come out to the right, and then find a bend in this left knee. So you're gonna pull yourself forward into your fold, and then kind of feel like you're pushing your heel away from you to come back upright. And then find a bend in your knee as you pull your heel towards you without really moving it. And let yourself feel a wave through your spine. And so you're not really doing this in a rigid way. It's in a fluid way. And really tapping into that elasticity of your fascia, through that back line of your body. Bend your knee and let yourself fold forward and just hold anywhere. And maybe as you hold, your knee can come a little straighter, but really think about reaching your heart forward. And breathing. And finding some space and length. Go ahead and come back up. Hands behind you, and we'll find those windshield wipers again. So knees out and just, heels out and then knees from side to side. So your heels are about as wide as your mat. And you can play with that mobility in your hips. Maybe your hands walk closer in. Maybe you can play with no hands supporting you. Get more into the core strength. If you want to play with coming up onto your shins and then lowering down as you go from side to side, maybe more into that glute and core strength. Just finding some fluid motion before we sit and meditate. Just evening ourselves out. find a seat. We'll do one more little neck, shoulder, nerve glide. So you can sit on your seat if you're ready to. I'm just gonna find a mudra with your fingers. So just thumb and forefinger come together and let your arms reach out wide. And then we'll just bend your elbow, tap it to your shoulder, and bring your ear toward that shoulder. And then switch sides. It's kind of silly looking. But these nerve glide movements just do exactly what that sounds like. Helps your nerves glide through your muscles. Let's do one more time to each side there. And then we'll mix it up a little bit. So you can drop your left arm down and just make a puppet with your right hand, and your puppet's looking at you. So you can look at your puppet, and then you'll look away and flex through your wrist and just make a stop sign. And really stop. And you'll look at your puppet. So bring those fingers together, and then you'll look away and stop in the name of love. So just do those. And you can, that reach away, you can kind of play with the reach. Maybe with that extended arm, you reach back behind you more. But let yourself kind of feel that nerve glide. And if you feel any little electrical things, that's totally fine. Let's do one more on that side. And then we'll switch, just drop your right arm. Find your little puppet and say hi to your puppet. And then look away and make a stop sign. Maybe one or two more. And just notice like what fingers I really feel it through, my middle finger. And then release, just go out your shoulders, you can shake out your neck and find your seat. Do you want to sit on the cushion, Barry? Is that high enough? What?
How long is it?
We're sitting for like 15 minutes. You probably should sit on your cushion. We'll just set ourselves up for meditation. And this month, we're really focusing on change and transition. And our ability and our flexibility to roll with change is a skill that we can develop, right? And it makes us more resilient and expands our capacity and our influence and our ability to understand and our capacity to love. But even amid this completely impermanent world that we live in that is in constant change, there is something that isn't moving. There is a stillness and a peace and a love that is constant. So as we sit and meditate today, that's going to be our question, right? What is constant? What is constant? So let yourself find your seat. Close your eyes, find a comfortable place for your hands. I like to kind of close the circuit of energy by bringing my thumb and forefinger together. And arrange your legs in a way that feels good. Is that high enough, or do you want a block under your? That's good? Okay. And start with really just getting into your body. Feel the connection of your sitting bones with the support underneath you. Notice the whole length and weight of your legs. Feel the pressure, the texture of your clothing or mat or carpet or whatever is touching your skin. And bring some awareness to your feet and just notice the sense of aliveness there. Bring your awareness back to that bowl of your pelvis. And feel the wave of your breath as it comes in and out. Notice your rib cage expanding and the beat of your heart with that rhythm of your breathing. And notice your shoulders, the length and weight of your arms. Feel your hands. And really just pay attention to what it's like to be inside of your body. Be inside of your hands and notice that tingling aliveness that's there. And bring your awareness back to your heart, up through your throat to your face. Notice if you're holding tension in your forehead or your jaw, see if you can relax that. Notice a sense of a smile come behind your eyes and that relaxed sense of a smile inside of your mouth. And notice what that shifts in you. Your body is a constant shifting organ of sensation, external and internal. There's always thoughts and processes happening. But as you breathe here, see if you can find that sense of stillness. That kind of question, what is constant? If it's useful for you, you can use the natural breath mantra, HAM, H-A-M, as you inhale, and SA, S-A-H, as you exhale. And just really a silent chanting in your heart space. That means means I am that. And don't worry too much about wrapping your mind around what that means or trying to reason the answer to what is constant. Really let yourself just rest in that heart space. With the rhythm of your breath and that stillness inside. The anchor of the mantra. Find your mind wandering. Just come back into your body. Feel that anchor of your pelvis on your cushion and your support. And back to that breath in your heart space. And find that balance of alertness through your spine. That release of tension through face, shoulders, and pelvis. That inhale, hum. Exhale of saw. Go ahead and open your eyes. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. One of my favorite quotes from Rilke is about living the questions. Right? That we let ourselves live the questions. And sometimes that's where we get the most insight. And so that's my invitation to you. So you go through this day is just to live that question of what is constant, and really find that awareness inside that has that answer that can be kind of beyond your reasoning, but that you can feel. Thanks for practicing with me. Fun to have a meditation partner. Divine Mind in Me honors the Divine Mind in You. Namaste.